and welcome to Good Games Spawnpoint, the show for younger gamers, my gamers. I'm Barjo.
And I'm Hex.
And I need no introduction.
And that's Darren, our robot.
We've got heaps in the show this week, as usual. We tackle more of your gaming conundrums in Ask Good Game.
And we get our one-face review fireball to the stomach with Street Fighter 4 Hadouken! But first, we kick things off with the Wii exclusive Rugby League 3.
Rugby League 3 is the next game in the Rugby League series from New Zealand developer She and is a Wii exclusive.
Now, Hex, it's no secret that I'm not really a sports kind of guy, but I have liked rugby games in the past, so I'm at least prepared to give Rugby League 3 a try.
Oh, that's how it's going to be, is it?
Yes, now the first thing you'll have to tackle is the controls. You have three options, the Wiimote and the Nunchuck, or the GameCube. And if you don't have a GameCube controller, just don't get this game. It's that simple.
Yeah, I agree. The game really rewards you for well-timed passing and you just don't get that accuracy with the Wii Remote.
Once you've plugged in your GameCube controller, it's off to the options screen where you can choose from over 80 teams, including the NRL teams, internationals, and State of Origin. The teams were locked off halfway through last year, but you can edit the options to bring them up to date.
Yeah, and you can mess with virtually all the rules. You can turn off knock-ons, forward passes, offsides, for example. You can even go back in time to before 1967 and have unlimited tackles.
Been a terrific build-up to this clash. Let's get it started.
You kick off the game by kicking off, and there's a lot of controls. So originally, Hex, I put the difficulty on reserve just to get a bit of a run and pass game happening.
Or able to take that catch.
And you know what, Hex? I enjoyed myself. Once I got past that compulsion to just try and score off every single play, I even managed to develop a kicking game.
There's angle on this kick.
Yeah, I had it on season difficulty, and here you really need to have a good grasp of the intricacies of the game. Using the D-pad, you can change your strategy on the fly.
Henderson.
If you're attacking, you can set up for things such as bombs, field goal attempts, and bring the fullback up to the line.
That's the third.
If you're defending, you can set up to receive a kick, try to charge one down, and of course everyone's favourite, the blitz.
Everything plays as it should. If you force a pass, you'll probably knock on. If you work down the left and switch play to the right, you'll probably find a gap. And the AI is workmanlike, so it'll give you a convincing game of footy.
Oh, he's cleared through the defence. Shut. They are on the ball.
Commentary is by professional commentator Andrew Voss, and I find I just tuned him out most of the time, but then when I turned it off, I actually started to miss him a little bit.
Here's Smith. Smith explodes through the tackle.
One really cool thing is that the game has over 2,000 surnames, so if you have a really common surname, you can create a player using it, and that'll be in the commentary.
O'Donnell. Passing to O'Donnell. Upended by Vanover. Smith gets through the front line. O'Donnell. Oh, he's not held. O'Donnell looks at the defence and puts on a sprint. No one lays a hand on him. No one was capable. What a try.
I triumph on the virtual field, but the graphics gave me nightmares, Hex. In-game, they're not too bad and they don't glitch out much, but the close-ups, Hex, the close-ups, it's like some sort of Doctor Who humanoid villain.
Yeah, they had really smooth skin, but I mean, if you squint, it kind of makes for a passable likeness.
Another thing that annoyed me was the lack of pomp and circumstance. You work your way through a whole NRL season, get to the grand final, and what do you get? A blimp-eye view of the stadium and some weak hyperbole from Mr. Voss.
Welcome to the grand final. This is the big one.
Or let's say you make it to the 2013 World Cup final. What do you get? Some fireworks? Maybe some doves being released? No, not even a single balloon. You just get, you guessed it, another aerial shot of the stadium.
The world champions will be decided tonight. Welcome to the final of the Rugby League World Cup.
Yeah, it certainly doesn't have the production values of an EA title, but it was probably produced for a fraction of the cost of something like Madden or FIFA.
You can have up to 8 players at once, 4 using the Wiimote and 4 using the GameCube controllers, and you'll have to draw straws about who gets the GameCube ones.
Yeah, I did find this game was the most fun as a solo experience though. You know, spending all your rucks, setting up for the big play, getting a last-minute try. It just felt better knowing you were doing it all yourself.
That's the fat lady doing her stuff. It's all over here.
For those who want to be Russell Crowe, you can manage your own selected team for 12 years. You're responsible for training, player contracts, and general team management.
You can play this mode and not set foot on the field, just managing your team and letting the Wii play out the games. Be warned though, if your team struggles, you can be fired. Well, we're almost at full time. Final thoughts, Barjo?
One thing that did bug me is the kickoff animation. You can't skip it, and because there's plenty of tries scored, you'll just see it all the time.
Teams waiting now for time on.
And no online. What's all that about? Having said that, though, I did have some fun here. It's one of those one more go kind of games, but not being a League fan, I couldn't quite get into all the options, and I did eventually get bored, so I'm giving it a converted 6 out of 10 rubber chickens.
Yeah, I had a few niggles too, like in defence. During the ruck, you can only select the markers of the fullback, which means furious button stabbing after the play to switch to the closest defender, and the conversions are basically just a reflex test. Why couldn't I have used the classic controller? I mean, it couldn't have been worse than the nunchuck. Still, this gameplay is great for the most part, and if you're a League fan, then it's everything you could hope for. I'm giving it a penalty try, 8 out of 10 rubber chickens.
Hex, any questions from the spawn this week?
Yeah. Just a few.
What is this?
What does it look like?
Some sort of papyrus substance.
It's mail badge.
Oh, did you print off the emails?
Let's just start with this one from Gabby in Sydney, Whalen.
Do you want me to scan it first?
Just read it.
Is there a Guitar Hero that lets you put in your own songs for the PS3?
Well, Gabby, you can compose and record your own songs in the music studios in both Guitar Hero World Tour and Guitar Hero 5, but they're rubbish and will sound terrible. But I'm guessing that's not what you meant.
Yes, if you want to actually put your own music that you've bought elsewhere into a Guitar Hero, well then no. There's no Guitar Hero on PS3 or any platform that will let you do that.
But there is the free Frets on Fire available for PC and Macs, which doesn't let you import your own songs exactly, but it does let you use your own music to create new tracks. However, it's not the quickest or easiest thing in the world to do.
Luckily though, you probably won't have to go to all that effort, since there's a very healthy community of so-called fretters who have made thousands of great tracks you can download, so you might just find that the song you wanted to import has already been done for you.
Alright, well I think that's that. Moving on, let's get to this one from Chris in Quakers Hill. Can you please put on some good games like Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 or Halo 3 or Battlefield Bad Company 2, or will you just change your name to Noob Game SP? Sorry about being rude, it's just frustrating.
Yes, we've been getting that question quite a lot, so I think it's time we explain the situation.
Yeah, now Chris, it's pretty simple really. Games like Halo and Call of Duty are mature titles and are rated M or MA15+. And since this is a show for younger gamers, they aren't suitable for us to show you. But there is something we can show you.
Hello Kitty's here, she knows the way. Something beautiful is starting today.
So all those violent shooters and good games you mentioned end up on a plain old good game over on ABC2, which one day you'll be able to watch as well.
Now, occasionally we might give you a glimpse of a mature title, but only where it's necessary to make a point, and we'd never actually show you any of the content from the game that could be considered mature. We've got to keep it fun for the whole family.
Okay, so now we're all clear on that. Let's move on to this from Chaos Vampire in Melbourne.
Should I get an Xbox 360 or wait for the Xbox 720? Well, Chaos Vampire, firstly, there's no such thing as an Xbox 720, at least not yet. And secondly, chances are pretty good it won't be coming out for a couple of years.
And with Microsoft planning to launch their Project Natal controller at the end of this year, you can expect them to squeeze quite a bit longer out of the 360, so the decision is really up to you. Play now or play a waiting game.
There are a few rumours circling of a new slim model like the PS3 Slim coming out though, and if that turns out to be true, I'm sure we'll hear about it soon.
Well, we've got time for one more quickie, and while we're talking about next gen, we've got this from James in Toowoomba.
Is there going to be a PlayStation 4 coming out soon, and what does it look like?
Well, James, it's pretty much the same story here as the Xbox 720, with no PlayStation 4 being announced as of yet. However, this is what we think it will look like when it is.
And with Sony launching their own motion controller with the PlayStation Move later this year, it's a safe bet that they too are planning to keep the PS3 going strong for a couple more years yet. Well, that's that for this week's Spawners.
And you know what? If you've got a question, jump on our site here and send it in.
It's like snow.
The These are great. Why haven't I seen these before?
Now, this move is a K-grind. It's the most dangerous move in all of skateboarding, and as you can see, I'm performing it flawlessly.
Doesn't look very dangerous. Come on, Darren, hand it over. It's time to announce the winner of our skateboard competition for the skateboard signed by legendary skater Tony Hawk.
We asked you to design your own Good Game-inspired skateboard deck and we're so impressed with the entries that we've decided to hand out some runner-up prizes. And the designs are...
But we only have one skateboard, so there can be only one winner, and that talented designer is... Lockie, who's 12, from Hawthorne East in Victoria.
Congratulations, Lockie. We'll get that skateboard in the mail to you soon.
I think he did quite a good job at capturing all of our likenesses.
Especially mine.
Yeah, but you could have used a toaster and it would have looked like you, Darren. I'm kidding. You're an attractive robot.
Sulk mode. Sulk mode.
It's time for the one-faced review, where you all weigh in on whether a game stinks or shines. Darren here is finely tuned for processing all the pics that are sent in via the website. Isn't that right, Darren?
Affirmative. And even if I don't like a game, I never let it influence my algorithms.
This week we put Street Fighter 4 to the test. We've come a long way from those early days of coin-operated Street Fighter in the local arcade, with Street Fighter 4 on Xbox 360, PS3, PC, and even the iPhone proving that this classic 2D fighting game still stands up. Featuring the entire character roster from Street Fighter 2, along with a bunch of new faces such as El Fuente and Crimson Viper, Street Fighter is still all about just trying to best your opponent with a flurry of kicks, throws, and punches.
Anyone can pick up a controller and enjoy a bit of Streety's action, but there's an amazing depth to the controls and fighting mechanics that entire tournaments are held for experts to test each other's skills.
Street Fighter 4 wasn't the first game in the series to reinvigorate the visuals with fancy 3D, but its new layer of gorgeous graphics adds a dynamic 3D element while keeping the action on a strict side-scrolling 2D plane. The Street Fighter love continues with a new installment, Super Street Fighter 4, about to be released. This version will add new characters, costumes, and ultra combos.
Well, I'll be very surprised if anyone doesn't love Streeties, but I guess Darren will deliver the cold, hard facts in the matter. D?
Initiating protocols. Judging Gurn factor. Scanning lip curl. Feeding mouse.
Whoa. Pause, Darren. Feeding mouse?
My backup battery is powered by Basil.
Basil?
My pet mouse that runs an internal charge generating wheel.
You're the weirdest robot I know, but please go on.
Processing news. Ding! We have a verdict. The spawnpoint viewing audience has voted and found Street Fighter 4 to be totally awesome.
Well, I saw that one coming, but it's good to be reassured every now and again.
Next week, we want your verdict on Sonic Unleashed, so jump onto the SpawnPoint website and submit your pick, and you will get your face on the telly.
Man, I really feel like playing Street Fighter now. Just play a few rounds.
Yeah, me too. Bagsby Blanco.
Oh, Blanca, really?
Yeah.
So lame. You're always Blanca. Just get electrocuted, can't get anywhere near you. It's just so annoying.
Well, if you can't hack it, then that just proves you're a noob, doesn't it?
Well, who are you going to be?
Chunners, obviously.
Chunners, really?
Yes, I'm
You're going to spam
gonna
super kick.
Exactly.
You're a bunch of spammers.
You won't be able to take it, will
Hate you both.
Yeah.
Can't take it.
No.
That was a rage quit before the game even began.
Well, that's about all we've got time for this week, but we'll be back with more from the wonderful world of video games, same time, same channel, next week.
Yes, and we'll deliver your viewer verdict on Sonic Unleashed.
Sonic, that's a good look for you. Festive.
Don't forget to drop past the SP forums to say hello, and you can also download your very own Darren ringtone.
Affirmative.
Until next week, gamers, Hex out.
Barjo out.
Darren out.
What does your ringtone sound like?
Noob detected. Charging my laser. Firing my laser.
Darren!
Stop it, Darren!
Darren!
No, that's what the ringtone sounds like.
Oh, I thought you were
it's-
actually... Yeah, I was going to do
I was
the thing.
getting worried.
Me too.